Welcome to the call. We're here every week to get the party started, to get us into the week and not lose our momentum for our love story. This is a place where you can bring your questions. If you do have questions, I encourage you to raise your hand sooner rather than later. Press 941 on the keypad to raise your hand, and when we get to the love seat, we will address your questions. It could be celebrations or gratitudes as well. All are welcome to share, and let's get started. Do you know how to ask curiosity questions that build chemistry? We're enhancing the conversation. It's part of our feminine flirty framework to ask curiosity questions, how to enhance the conversation. I know I was tired, and you might be tired, of date conversations feeling more like job interviews, or having conversations with relationships you're already in, and it's just how's your day? We want to ask questions and be in the moment and have more flirt in the moment. What if asking the right kind of question could build real chemistry and even spark the moment he sees you, is drawn to you, and finds you irresistible? That's what we're looking for when we're doing our romantic waltz, right? We're not looking to be buddy-buddy. We're looking to have that intimacy that only a romance can have. Intimacy lies in these communications where you're coming from what you feel and what you don't want, talking about what they think, what they want. That's where the intimacy is. Any two bodies can bump together in the middle of the night. The sex card is the easiest card to play. But are you paying attention to the communication card and the compatibility card? How about negotiating for those before the sex card? It's a little controversial and politically incorrect, especially in today's day and age. And there's also ways to have conversations about that. It'll spark the moment and make you more irresistible. If your last few dates felt more like interrogations than invitations to connect, you're definitely not alone in that. And we don't want to interview. The masculine interviews, we want to be present. If the masculine interviews, they'll tend to ask questions right away if they're showing up for courtship. They know what they want and they go after it. If we interview and ask questions, they could say whatever they're going to say. We want to remember there's the says and seems that we especially pay attention to online dating when we're doing online dating. They say this, it seems like that, because we don't know this person. We don't even know if it is a person. Pictures can be AI, the profiles can be AI. So it's good to stick with it says this, it seems that. He says he went to Harvard. It seems like he's a good man. And it's through experience and experiencing the person that more is discovered. I call it discovery dating, where you're discovering more about you, you're discovering more about them. And you're saying, yes, please, thank you, until it hits a deal breaker. If you're in a relationship, even if you're married for 10 years, they still get stopped by deal breakers, and we're not available for moments if it's at the detriment of our own well-being. We are practicing loving them, but not more than us, and we're showing up because if we fill the well and take care of ourselves and negotiate for ourselves, it'll be a healthier relationship. So today, we're going to go over a couple of questions to flip the script and help you turn the conversations into connection without over-interviewing, over-explaining, over-sharing. And with the Q&A, I'll be answering your questions on communication, connecting, or anything else you're curious about. I encourage you, again, as I said earlier, press 941 to raise your hand so I can get to you when the time comes. And if you stay until the end for a challenge to upgrade your next conversation in a more playful way, I will be giving something at the end, a challenge that you can do. So we keep this short and sweet because your time is precious. I want to honor your time, but I also want to support each other. It's not easy doing this work in today's world. There's not many people that are showing up for love, showing up for healthy relationships, choosing to go the stoic route as opposed to the hedonist route. Let's get into 3 points that you could take with you about having more intimate, connected conversation. I want you to stop interviewing and start inspiring. The muse is a magnet and mysterious. We don't want to ask, what do you do for a living? Instead, a conversational enhancing question might be, what's something you've been doing lately that you are wanting to do more of? It's good to have open-ended questions, not yes-no questions. And a feminine woman inspires energy and curiosity, not evaluation. One of my clients used this to switch a date from boring to more intimacy. And when she asked what's something you've been doing lately that you want to do more of, he told her about his love of cooking. Now they have a second date set up, and because by the end of the date, they were talking about what if they made a nice meal together. So for the second date, they started planning. It hasn't happened yet. I'm looking forward to hearing how it goes. A trip to the market to get the groceries and cook the meal together. It helps build rapport and chemistry, making memories. If this is the person you're going to be with and ends up being your person, you want to create memories, not just get on the fast track. What are you looking to do in a long-term relationship? This is what I'm looking to do. Do you want kids? I want kids. Up, negotiate for a long-term without having experiences and memories. So the second point is presence is the new potency. So many people are not present in the moment anymore because of cell phones and technology, and there's so many things pulling us in different directions. If you can master being present in the moment, that is so potent. And instead of jumping ahead to see if he checks all the boxes, stay grounded in the moment and listen with your eyes and energy. Hear what he has to say, and then you can mirror back and repeat what he said and see if did I hear that right? Or repeat the last few words of the sentence. Oh, so you went to Harvard? Or if he says, oh, we lost playing polo the other day. Oh, you lost playing polo the other day? When people do that, the other person tends to expound on what they were talking about. Intentional listening is magnetic, and that's all part of the Flirty flower framework, the feminine flirt. There's little steps to that are very simple so you can stay in the moment and stay flirty. The third point, playful curiosity beats performance every time. Instead of trying to sound impressive or interesting, ask open, imaginative questions that feel light and inviting. This is something you can also do with your kids or with someone on the bus. And practice, and you'll get more comfortable with it. Your softness is your strength. You're not here to impress. You're here to express. If you could pause life and do anything for a month, what would it be? That's a great question. Her date said, build a treehouse with my nephews. You got to see a whole different side to him. And there was something interesting to talk about. What's something you wish more people understood about you? And the man at the time talked about he was a big brother to a young man without a young boy, without a father. And that revealed a whole nother side of him. And it started up, again, a whole nother conversation. And it's not interviewing. And it makes it more fun, the date more memorable with a connection. And here's a bonus tip that I learned early in my discovery dating is not to talk about work. The masculine is about work. The feminine is about pleasure. I remember the exact place I was standing in a coffee shop in Marina Del Rey. I must have been talking 15 minutes, 30 minutes about my work in the entertainment industry. I was going on. And he actually said, yeah, but what do you do for fun? And it was like I had deer in the headlight response. I didn't even know what I did for fun because I was so much a workaholic at the time. I was so into performing. And then I realized I was saying these things to him to impress, to perform, and to prove something, which is rooted in doing something to deserve love. We don't have to do anything to deserve love. We're lovable because we exist. We are the prize. They're there to convince us they're the best man on the planet for us. So we want to let go of the performing, get out of our head, get back into our body and the pleasure, come from what you enjoy, share what you enjoy and what's fun and what turns you on and the good things in life. And if they say, what do you do? In today's culture, a lot of us go right to work, but that doesn't have to be what we do. Maybe what we do is a hobby of photography, or maybe what we do is surf. Those are things we do also. So we can come from things we enjoy. What do you do? Oh, I do lots of things. I enjoy surfing. I enjoy photography. So to get a little more creative with conversation is helpful. Now it's time for the love seat. Time for the love seat. The love seat is here each week so you can get your questions answered. Okay, here's one. What if someone has a girlfriend and I sense that he is interested, but I live in New York and he's in the UK? Well, we're going to tie this also into conversation. We don't want to ask them about having girlfriends and if they're dating, and we don't want to talk about our dating. If someone's pursuing us, it's not our job to figure out what their love life is. They get stopped by deal breakers. If someone's pursuing us and we see a wedding ring and that's a deal breaker, then we address, I sense by the ring on your hand you're married. Am I wrong about that? Flush it out because it's evidence of a deal breaker. If you sense that he has a girlfriend and you have a deal breaker, you don't want to date men if they're in a monogamous relationship, flirting is not illegal, immoral, or unethical. The feminine doesn't flirt actively going after, so it's not leading him on. The feminine flirt is more about being you, having confidence, and it doesn't matter who's standing in front of you or what they're doing. It's okay to flirt. When I was practicing flirting, because I wasn't comfortable with flirting, I remember being on the 405, and that's a big freeway if you're not familiar in California, and I would be in the far left lane next to the other lane going the other way. There was a divider. We were stuck in traffic, which is very common on the 405. And I would flirt knowing that they're going the other way, and odds are we'll never see each other again. And that's okay to flirt with people that are just passing through our life. It's just, flirting is another way to be enjoying life and sharing yourself with the world. The feminine is in love with themselves and sharing it with the world. Okay, Miss Carrie, I see you have a question.
Yeah, it's all good. I love your LA stories. It is, everything takes so much longer. So I've been sober dating, and the guys, I mean, I'm like, they're falling off like left and right. Really, yeah. I don't know what to allow. I mean, it's hard to keep track of all the eligible ones. A lot of the eligible men are traveling, and one just got back, and we're setting up a video date. I feel like I'm very serious about everything, and I just don't want to be the masculine. Does it matter who sets it up at, like, in the very beginning? Because I'm noticing this guy, he's making effort, but it's very kind of minimal.
You being serious is a good thing when you're in courtship mode. Courtship mode is serious. It's not casual just for today. But you don't want to be serious with them. You're there to have an experience with them and for them to convince you they're the best man on the planet for you. Part of it's hard to keep track of the dating. That's your job, to keep track of your dance card. Remember their names and remember what you talked about. Keep little notes in your phone under the if there's certain things, he has 3 kids, he lives here. And then I would put after their name a little code as to where we met, whether it was on Match or it was in a coffee shop. I would remember and put the date. So Match and then the date, because eventually it gets to be so many dates. There's like 5 mics, and then you're like, okay, who is this? Who am I answering on the phone? So you want to keep track. And it's not who you attract, it's who you keep. And it's not that hard to keep track because we're only paying attention to what's coming towards us, not who's standing there, and especially not who's running in the other direction. So you're just handling who's coming towards you. If the ball's not in your court, if you don't owe anyone a phone call, or you don't have a commitment to get back to them about something or to show up somewhere that you made a commitment to show up, then the only thing for you to do is to be found. And a video date is fine. You want to follow his lead, and you don't want to get ahead of the moment. Receive what they're giving. They give a text, receive it. They give a conversation, receive it. They give a meal, receive it. Unless there's a deal breaker, then you say, thank you, no thank you. But receive exactly what they're giving and don't get caught up, okay, we're having a conversation. Are we going to get to the dinner? Are we going to get to the trip to the Bahamas? You don't want to get ahead of the present moment. Practice being in the present moment. Those are all good questions. A question came in. It seems men often put on their profiles, they want honesty, but they don't seem that honest. How come? Well, the how comes and the whys aren't important because There could be a million reasons. And sometimes they don't even know why they do things. Sometimes we don't know the reason we do things. So there's no point in diving into that. What matters is your side of the street and if you're comfortable with what's happening or if it's compatible. And sometimes people will say, I want people to be honest because they're having an honesty problem with themselves. There's the saying, when one finger is pointing out, three are pointed back to the person. Sometimes we're calling out or we don't like in people the things that are there for us to work on. That might be one of the reasons. But you don't want to dive deep in the how comes or the whys. If they're not honest, that's what matters. And then you get to move on. A lot of profiles now are being written by AI. The quicker you can do the chemistry check date where you meet at the coffee shop just to see if both are alive and breathing, the sooner the better. It's a numbers game. And it's not who you attract, it's who you keep. If you don't like the contenders on your porch, be sure to get out there to be found, double down on being found. But if you're not doing online dating, triple down on being found in real life. Your job is to get found, not to find them, to get found. So show up and be places where there's compatible contenders and do the feminine flirt, do the eye contact, and see who you attract. And it's not about the results. You want to stay out of the results. Your part is just to show up, be available, be approachable, and keep going. And have faith and believe that it's going to happen. If it happened for me, it can happen for you. I've had a long journey. Through doing this work, I was able to evolve myself to the point of having a healthy relationship with another human and to accept that I'm human. Imperfectly, perfectly imperfectly. But we're looking for enough healthy chemistry, enough healthy communication, and enough healthy compatibility. And then we take a risk with the humans. Someone wrote, dysfunctional upbringing. Yes, dysfunctional upbringing. Some people got the manual on healthy relationships. I don't know anyone that has, but some people have. I was missing most of the manual. And the good news is it's a manual. You can learn it. Love and touch and communication is all learned. And that's the good news. We are now going through our toolkit. And there's a lot of tools in there that were good for survival when we were younger and kept us alive, but are no longer serving us. It's keeping us safe and single. So all we're doing is learning new tools and putting that in our toolbox, learning different ways to navigate in the world and handle what shows up and how to have more fun in the world and play and ideally find a partner in crime or person to pursue life with because it makes life easier. Now, no judgment, and it's not everybody's cup of tea. I have a little quiz that says, are you single, are you married, or are you living with your cat and content about that and have no plans to do anything other than that? That's all good. No judgment, works for a lot of people. But if you want to have that intimate, monogamous relationship with a true love in this lifetime, headed towards those rocking chairs when you're 90, I want to be here for you. I want to encourage you because it's totally doable. But you got to be in it to win it. You can find me on any social media at Coach Constance. I do privates if you want to talk about things privately, if you were uncomfortable saying anything on the phone. If you want to up your game of flirting, get in contact with me and I'll give you the details on the Love Lab for the feminine flirt. Until next time, I'm Coach Constance and I'm sending you love, love, love.